Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3, part 1 of Geoff's Gardening World. Today is the 75th anniversary of VE Day, so we've got the Union Jack flying with the NHS flag. Before we look at the garden, just show you what my two have been doing in support of the NHS. All their artwork. There's old Tom Moore there, 100 years old, raised 30 odd million for the NHS charities. And yesterday they did this artwork for support the NHS. Right, let's have a look at the garden. We're in the front garden, as you know, as I told you last week. The front garden is north facing, so there's not a lot going on here. It's at least 2 weeks behind the back garden. There's a little bit of sculpture I did yesterday. Some branches that I've cut off some trees. Didn't know what to do with them, so I've sort of built something. Don't know what it is, but anyway. There's some marigolds in the background there and ospeospermums at the front. Just brought them round today. Right, take a look at the hedge first. This is a Photinia, red robin, very versatile plant. You can grow it as a hedge that I've done here, or a shrub, or even a tree. There's 2 shrubs each side of the front door. They're both Photinias as well. I'll show you the tree in a moment. If you're growing it as a hedge, you shouldn't use shears on it or a hedge cutter. Needs to be cut with secateurs really. Spectacular looking plant though. The foliage is brilliant. More traditional hedge over the other side of the garden. Flat here, but it goes a bit wavy, which is part of my design. Roses are coming on nicely. This is my square tree. It doesn't want to be square obviously, but I want it to be square, that's the main thing. It's a yew, which is native to the UK. That means to say any plant that's native to the UK means it's been growing continuously in this country since the last ice age. Very easy to work on, a yew, unlike conifers, which are much more difficult. In fact, if you cut some conifers back too much, you will destroy it. You can do anything with a yew, cut it back as much as you make it into any shape you like, and it'll always come back looking great. This one is a square tree. There's another Photinia growing as a tree behind that corner line. Right, this is my hedge. It's supposed to, the wavy bits are supposed to represent waves coming in from the sea, and the flat bit is the beach. And it goes all the way along here, up, down. Not supposed to be the same size as waves coming in to a beach. I wanted to show you this plant in the back there. Spectacular, isn't it? It's called a rock rose. It's not a rose at all really. It's not even related to a rose. It's a very unusual plant, but beautiful. It's an evergreen. And the amazing thing about it is that flower there wasn't there yesterday, and it won't be there tomorrow. Each flower only lasts 1 day, but tomorrow there'll be another load of flowers coming out there. There's thousands of flowers, and it'll flower like this up till August time, with a different flower appearing every day. That's not just one plant, there's about 12 in there. But it's taken over the whole border, which was the plan, because it's a massive border. It cost me a fortune to keep putting bedding plants in there every year, and that does look pretty good, doesn't it? There's another Photinia. Same as the one, red robin, same as the one that's a hedge, only this time it's growing as a tree. Right, I want to show you my water butt. My pride and joy this. There's 1,000 gallons of rainwater in there. There's a little tap on it. 75% of all the rain that falls on the house ends up going in there. So I've got loads and loads of water, rainwater on tap. That's all there is in the front garden to see. My dahlias will be coming out here, but they're not ready yet. I want to talk to you now about my tulips. I can take you in the back. Remember I told you I normally throw tulips away, but I decided to keep them this year. The reason I throw them away is because when they're finished flowering, tulips need to be left in the ground with just the foliage for a while, so that they can get their energy for next year's growth. But I don't really want them to do that, because where they were growing, I've put my bedding plants. So I wanted to keep them. So what I've done is cut the flowers off, gently lift the bulb out of the ground, and heel it in a spare bed somewhere, and here they are. By heeling in, you dig a little trench, a couple of inches deep, place the bulbs in there, cover them up with soil again, and leave them like that. Get their energy for next year. When the foliage turns yellow, you can cut the foliage off of the bulbs, throw the bulbs in a box of sharp sand or dry compost, and keep them there till you're ready to plant them in again next November, or this November. Right, on the course of bedding plants, you remember in episode 1, I had 750 plants in the greenhouse. In episode 2, the greenhouse was empty and all the plants were sitting in their pots outside the greenhouse. Well, lo and behold, the greenhouse is now full again with the next lot. This is another lot of pelargoniums. We call them, everyone calls them geraniums, don't know why. They are pelargoniums though. There's another 400 plants in here, on top of the 750 I took out the other week. Right, I'm also growing tomatoes in the greenhouse this year. Last year I was growing them outside. There they are. I've built a nice solid frame for them to climb up. I'm going to leave them in the greenhouse this year. Tomato plants are pretty high maintenance really. You've got to keep taking side shoots out. See this side shoot here? Doesn't need to be there. You've got to take that out. Just pick it out like that. Wherever you see side shoots coming out, pick it out. It doesn't need to be there. It does no purpose whatsoever. It doesn't produce any fruit, which is what tomatoes are really. And also, you remember I talked to you about watering from below? Well, this is particularly important with tomatoes. They don't like getting their leaves wet. So always water the soil, not the plant. Right, we've got some more dahlias coming here. These are going to be bedding dahlias. There you go. Some salvias coming up there. And Rebecca's coming through there. It's a bit late. But they'll come along nicely. The plants that were in the greenhouse, which you last saw them in pots sitting here, are now in the ground. And these are alliums. I've never grown alliums before. Love the colour. They're part of the annuum family, which is probably why they're not quite as popular as they should be. Beautiful flowers and foliage. Here's my gunner. Did I tell you about my gunners? My marigolds are looking great. You might remember this dahlia. It was only a little tiny week or so ago. I showed you how to take cuttings from it. Like all dahlias, they need staking because their flowers, we've bred them so much that their flowers are so enormous that the plant can't support them. Can't support the weight. All these are dahlias. There's another load of dahlias here. And the ospeospermums, which I showed you at the front, are coming on there. And some more alliums. And gazanias are all out here. I put gazanias there because they're quite low growing and they're underneath the washing line. So I need a low growing plant there. These are zinnias, those that know me. No, I'm a great fan of zinnias. Again, they don't really flower till July. Well, there are some flowering now, but they're going to be growing taller. That's about it for part one. We'll have a little break now, and I'll come back to you in a moment with part two. Meanwhile, there's a word from our sponsors. Oh no, we haven't got any sponsors. See you in a minute.